Next up, we have myself and Lior, who are going to go through some of the tools at MakeHaven. All right, Lior, why don't you do this one?
Great. So we've gotten a whole bunch of welding tools set up recently, and I actually just came here from badging people on the Oxy Acetylene Rig. So with Oxy Acetylene, you can melt metal, which lets you fuse them. You can braze, which is slightly cooler than melting. We also have a great new MIG welder. So this is a big upgrade from our old one. It's a Miller welder. So this lets you weld steel and aluminum really easily. It's referred to as a hot glue gun of metalworking because it's pretty easy to use and it makes great welds. I recently made a huge wood storage rack out of using that tool, a plasma cutter. This wouldn't be used for, it overlaps a bit with the water jet cutter. The water jet is superior in a lot of ways. The one way that this excels is by being really fast and by being freehand. So if you want to be more artistic or cut on curved shapes, then that's a tool. The end mill sharpener is a tool we picked up from New Jersey, I believe. And this is a really cool tool that sharpens end mills. So end mills are drill bits that cut sideways that you use when you are milling things. And it saves a ton of money to be able to sharpen them. So members can resharpen the bits that they want to use. J.R., just let me know when you want to.
No, yeah, keep going.
The English wheel is a tool we just picked up. You can tell it's from a NASCAR shop by the flames that are on the sides, and it's used for doing compound bends in metal, like you can see in the picture on the right, for doing bumpers and gas tanks and hopefully other non-automotive purposes. This is a related tool called a shrinker stretcher. So this is used for putting curves around the edges of metal. So it works in tandem with the English wheel to do sort of curved sheet metal type work. So I'm excited to see the kinds of things that people think to make with those tools that we grabbed from that closing NASCAR shop. Whole bunch of pneumatic tools we just got set up. We recently got a really big air compressor, so our pneumatic capabilities opened up a whole lot. The ones we have here are a nibbler on the top left corner. That lets you do curved cuts in sheet metal, a sander, a saw, a pneumatic shear on the bottom right for cutting straighter lines. This is a kiln that we just literally got today. This is great for enameling, for heat treating, for pottery, for sintering, for forging, for casting. So they're, making pizza in 15 seconds.
Woo! Sorry.
So it's a really exciting tool that I've been excited for a long time. This is a drum sander. So it has a full cylinder in the middle that spins with sandpaper on it and a conveyor belt on the bottom that conveys wood through it. It is 22 inches wide, but it's open. So you could potentially take a 44-inch wide piece of wood, pass it through, flip it 180 and pass it through again and get really wide pieces. Go for it.
Yeah, so this is a Tufting Gun. This is used to make essentially carpet. And what it will rapidly put the threads through a larger sheet that you hold. And we've already had some people exploring and enjoying using this. This is a resin printer. Resin printer differs from the regular printer that pours out plastic. This uses light to harden a resin. And we got the type, it's Formlabs 3B, which can actually do human biocompatible resin. So these are special resins which you can use for prototyping of bio and medical things. We have a station set up for VR development that was already mentioned. We have a VR headset there. We've also been using it as a remote learning control station. So it has some software that allows us to manage and control multiple webcams when we're doing things. Just very recently, we're excited to have added a very large format printer that can print a huge banner size and almost infinite as far as like down the roll. The materials are heavy duty, so they can be outside and you can print like outdoor banners. Also looking at how we can print like large plans to lay things out. Alongside that is, for a little while, we've had this vinyl cutter, but this vinyl cutter is an upgrade that has optical registration, which allows you to print stickers on that big printer. And then this will then take a knife and cut those out exactly registered to the right dimensions. And just recently ordered and on the way is an injection molder. So this is a prototyping injection molder. We had a hand-drawn one. This is actually automated, and it allows you to do fairly large plastic injections. An injection molder takes melted plastic and pushes it into a mold, the type of molds you can make on our various other machines. This is our screen printing machine, an upgraded one that has what are called micro adjustments. That's all these knobs you see to the side. This allows you to get very precise registration and allows you to do different color processes where you're actually getting the in-between colors by overlaying, sort of like comic books have the little dots. And this is just an addition in our growing casting area. This is for melting wax that would be useful for candles and holding the wax there. So we can do more with casting and making the silicone molds for a candle and then pulling the wax off of this machine. And then we talked about it before, so I haven't focused on it, but we have been outfitting and are near to launching our community bioroom. So this is all about science and exposing people through to biology and combining that with the maker movement, something that a lot of maker spaces are doing and we're excited about. So just to put a shout out to our wish list for those members that are here, we collect and people vote on what they most want to see, and this impacts our decision making. Our decision making is based on a lot of things like where we can get grants and what infrastructure we have to support it, but this obviously is a big part of it. So remember to go to the wish list and vote. And the other thing is that we're always looking at new equipment to add. Lior just put out a thing where he was asking people to vote on what in the woodworking shop they would like the most, and folks are doing that. And just a shout out to the New Haven Innovation Collaborative and CT Next, who have been big supporters in helping us get the resources to do this, along with all the individual donations from members and friends.